Hello again and welcome to yet another edition of Top 10 Worst of Lists. I'm your host, Ty Score, and welcome to what has recently been voted on in Car and Driver magazine as the most prolific and profound top 10 worst of lists in the entirety of the internet. We've got a great list for you today. I think everyone is going to feel gratified that somebody finally stepped up to the plate and told it like it is. Leave it to Top 10 Worst Ofs to handle your frustration needs in these trying times. And of course, I'm talking about our top 10 list of today, top 10 worst tortures for politicians. And we're really going to, sock it to them in a big way. But before that, I've got a couple of little things, a couple of disclaimers I've got to take care of. Number one, I'm nuts. Not in the conventional padded cell and straitjacket definition of nuts. I'm nuts in terms of being nonconformists to the nth degree. And in today's society, by and large, we find ourselves immersed in a bunch of, a combination really of a-holes and apathetic couch potatoes. And what's a person going to do if they want real measurable change to the plastic fantastic, the status quo that knows no boundaries, that has us cloistered in a fantasy world of the absence, characterized by the absence of objective truth. I don't know. Where do you turn? I'm willing to step up. All of us here at Top 10 Worst Of are willing to step up and fill the void as we try to finally transition from caterpillar to butterfly. So, nuts, okay? That means that I cannot be trusted or relied upon. In fact, I insist, if I say something during the course of this top 10 worst of list, and things are likely to be said, I have a way of doing those types of things. So, you sort of probably should proactively get out in front of this. I'm going to insist that, when you hear things that are questionable, that you check it for yourself. Well, what the hell are you relying on somebody like me for? Are you looking at this? If you can't see this, if you've got a problem with that side of interpreting mass media, perhaps you can hear the sort of unstable tonality of my content delivery that clues you in that I could be unhinged. Either way, you should be, with everything that you see and hear and ingest intellectually into your, vortex of influence, you should be worried about. You should really be kind of viewing with as much skepticism as you can draw forth from your inner chi. Number two, I'm not partisan. I'm not playing the game anymore. I'm sorry. If you expect somebody to be like on your side of the aisle and in order for you to be able to, contend with what they have to offer to the party, then, you're probably a lost cause. Sorry, not sorry. So, why are you even bothering to look at anything? You should just be watching like Teletubbies and, old reruns of Hannah Montana and Lizzie McGuire. It's true. You you haven't earned your place at the table. I'm sorry. You've been kicked off the island. But uh, uh, if you can't figure out that Machiavelli 101 class that you're being schooled with right now, it's been 700 years, 800 years since it was invented. So again, that's on you. You're getting kicked off the big boys island. You got to pull up your big boy pants and stop being played, or just roll with it. Quit complaining, get out of the way, and stop gumming up the works. All right, and a couple other things to take care of. First of all, a lot of people think that these top 10 worst of lists are not rigorously researched or prepared, but I guarantee you that they are. I and a team of former Encyclopedia Britannica blurb writers gather together outside of the Mooinoink grocery store on Chicago's South Side and take copious doses of Dayquil mixed with NyQuil in order to be able to come up with these top 10 lists. And also, we have a couple of sponsors here somewhere, I think. Yes, here we go. Coming soon to to a local multiplex indoctrination center near you from the producers of The Bourne Identity. It's the Osborne Identity. It's Ozzy Osbourne in a bunch of like car chases and stuff. And Pin the Tail on the Honky, a whole new game for game night. All you families out there lovingly embracing each other's company and talking without using swear words. It's Texas Chainsaw Mass. Well, the brand new means of worshiping people where you go to Sunday Mass and have a bunch of virgins chopped up with chainsaws and made into chili. It's Texas Chainsaw Mass. Get over yourself already. All right, so now we're finally ready for today's top 10 worst of. It's top 10 worst tortures for politicians, and this is going to be a groovy one. I'm telling you. Number 10 of the top 10 worst tortures for politicians. Have a bunch of terrorists who were trained on crop duster planes fly numerous commercial jet airliners into their house. And wouldn't that be fun to watch? And, just while we're at it, so the Pentagon, right? They fly a plane into the Pentagon and it lands into the side of the Pentagon, but the height of the fuselage is too high to make the hole where it was and not have crashed into the ground prior to that. In other words, the fuselage is it's 30, 40 something feet high. And so the height of the hole was too low for the plane to have not crashed before entering the Pentagon by dragging its fuselage on the ground. I guess that the 9/11 Commission and their investigators didn't have a tape measure available when they were coming up with all this gobbledygook about, buildings being obviously detonated and imploded, and even buildings that didn't get hit by planes. So, whatever you want to believe. But wouldn't it be fun? Why not hit the Pentagon from the top? It's like the widest building on planet Earth. And, why do you have to come in from the side? Why not just come on top and hit it, straight down? Any old crop duster trained pilot could have taken care of that instead of, you got dozens of screaming passengers who at that point obviously knew that they were being used as a kamikaze plane, pounding at the door, and you're flying a commercial jet airliner for the first time, and you're pulling off an impossible maneuver that most trained pilots probably couldn't do. Now, some critics would say, hey, look, it's just the same they do as landing a plane, except without landing it on an airstrip, instead landing it into the side of a Pentagon building. But, you're not doing that at like 500 miles an hour like they were when they're flying the plane. You're slow down considerably, and you're a trained pilot. But, there's other things. The Pentagon, the area of the Pentagon that the plane hit, had just coincidentally had been evacuated for numerous renovations, one of which was to make that area bomb-proof. So a lot of the regular workers weren't in the area like they might have been had that recent renovation not taken place. So, and then there's, the fact that there's almost no footage whatsoever of this taking place. Now, this is the most, strategically sensitive building in the entire country, arguably. And, I go to my grocery store and they've got 4 to 6 cameras mounted on the front facade of their building that are filming everybody in the parking lot 24/7, 24/8 sometimes when the need calls for it. And yet the Pentagon had, I guess, allegedly less cameras of videotaping or monitoring the outside of its building than my local grocery store. Give me a break, ski, please, ski. Hey. Number 9 of the top 10 worst tortures for politicians. Take JFK's magic bullet. Okay, follow along with me. Take the magic bullet from JFK's assassination out of mothballs and see if it's got any gas left in the tank. Just let it, just sort of let it loose. Go, here you go, nice magic bullet. Go ahead and do your thing. Now, the magic bullet's clearly, can be outdone and outmaneuvered by the magic flak jacket, or the magic Kevlar vest. But those aren't typically available for most politicians. So, hey, look, if you're going to believe it, and if you do believe in magic in a young girl's heart, do you believe in magic in a young bullet's propulsion system? Well, do you? Punk. Magic Bullet, just sort of zigzagged all over the place and went and made 16 different wounds and penetrations of various different clothing. And back in the 60s, they made stuff out of real wool and stuff like that. That's no joke. Flying all around, changing directions, plus the trajectory from the book depository, through the back of JFK's neck, couldn't happen. Because it goes through the back of his neck and comes through his throat at an angle, but the angle doesn't match the angle that it would have been coming through if it was actually shot from the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository. That's one heck of a bullet you got there. Like I said, do you believe in magic and a young bullet's projection system? Number 8 of the top 10 worst tortures for politicians. Okay, you can follow along with this. This is a little bit of a screwy one. Have the politicians' neighbors they've been fighting with sell a bunch of crack on the streets to raise money, buy some weapons, have the Israelis secretly sell those weapons to Iran, then take the profits from that to buy more weapons that they give to some angry Nicaraguan rebels who then shoot up their house and take all their stuff. You're thinking, right? There's no possible way that anybody could pull that off. Maybe we could get like a mid-level administrator and pencil pusher from the NSA to take the blame. While all the other, head honchos and mucky mucks get away with mass murder and breaking the law and violating various different embargoes against selling weapons to Iran by having the Israelis and the Iranians make the trades of those weapons under the table, even though they publicly say that they want to exterminate each other. yeah, we'll get a mid-level pencil-pushing NSA drone to take all the blame for doing all that, all on their own. Yes! No. All right, number 7 for the top 10 worst. We're rolling along here. This is atypical for one of these top 10 lists. I guess they go so smoothly and proceed so rapidly through the list. Number 7, secretly purge all the left-leaning progressives and their families through a combination of clandestine assassinations, marginalizations, drafting them into the military, or diseasing them up so they can't function any longer. Excuse me. Where'd I get an idea like that? How fantastic. How phantasmagorical. That couldn't possibly have happened in reality. What have I been reading to come up with something so detached from the possibilities of reality? There's no way that anybody could pull off a purge of all lefties and progressives from our society and cover it all up for all these years. That couldn't possibly have ever happened. Cultural revolution. Night of long lives. Excuse me. Number 6 of the top 10 worst tortures for politicians. Make them spend 5 minutes with Reba McEntire. I'm sorry, no. I'm going to take number 6 off. I'm pulling down number 6. It's just too cruel. Too horrible. Oh my God, look what I've done with my grease paint. My grease paint mustache. It's been compromised. I can't live with it. I'm sorry. I know we've been going along here, gangbusters. Practically, totally. Oh, God. Get my kit out. I can't live with this. I'm sorry. This way you get to see behind the scenes of the type of commitment and dedication to excellence, abject perversions. It's like VH1 Behind the Music, and just as popular and just as compelling. And look at that. I'm all grease paint mustached up like a real entertainer. All right, so number 5, sorry for the interruption. Number 5, top 10 worst torture for politicians. Initiate an invasion of their backyard by the military, including the deployment of napalm and Agent Orange on their swing set and hibachi-style outdoor barbecue, with the stated purpose of stemming the expansion of communism in our neighborhood. So, that could work, because, it's the perfect time to sort of purge all the intellectual components out of society and give everybody in the entire country post-traumatic stress disorder. I mean, really, if you were looking to actually specifically try and I don't know, ruin the potential of an entire country. You would create a war, a larger scale of what I'm describing in line item number 5, in order to be able to, and make the war in like carry it out in a half-assed way, so you're not really trying to win, and then, put the war in a very hostile environment against a very entrenched enemy that's been, fighting for their own freedom and self-autonomy for decades, and pretty much beating everybody's ass with guerrilla warfare and such, so that they become emotionally scarred, and do it for a real long time, so that you kill off a lot of people, and again, give everybody in the entire country some taste of post-traumatic stress disorder, whether it be from their direct involvement in the fighting of the war, the divisions within our society that the opposing viewpoints of that war created, and it gives you time to be able to dumb down the education system, to be able to reallocate resources within society to make sure that they're actually working against the maturity and intellectual prowess of the individuals within the society itself, and import a lot of drugs. It could be, it's something to do, and it's the type of thing where if you're really your intentions really were to destroy the potential of society, like if you had some sort of military industrial complex of some type that's just looking to compromise any opposition to your fascist, perhaps a little Aryan skewing agenda, all the better. All right, so number 4 of the top 10 worst tortures for politicians: sign a NAFTA-esque free trade agreement which ships them and all of their family to labor camps in some godforsaken Pacific Rim hellhole where they're all forced into slavery that's so horrific that they kill themselves rather than living through the torture any longer. That, again, I can't imagine a world in which that could really happen, where the people within that society would allow that to happen. They see that the people are getting shipped into, and confined to forced labor camps. They know it's going on. They see the results of the cheaper socks and the bigger profit margins and the athletic shoe company, and yet nothing. That, it sounds like some dystopian Dr. Seuss tale. All right, number 3. Again, top 10 worst tortures for politicians. Put a blockade on all the roads that lead to their house. Okay, bomb their fuse box so they have no power, and threaten that their whole civilization will die, never to be brought back again. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, I'm guessing, I'm projecting here, but I'm guessing, it's, I think, a pretty well-informed and educated guess, but they're probably out there in viewer land. Hello, everybody. Hi. How you been? Going like, where does he come up with these amazing, sort of creative torture ideas? How does he do it? I'm not giving away trade secrets. You'll just have to, figure it out for yourself. All right, number 2 of the top 10 worst tortures for politicians, and God knows they deserve him, because that's what they've been doing to us for the last bazillion years. Number 2, take away their health care and their dental and all their money until they have $15 left in their bank account balance and no way to pay their car note that was due yesterday. Wouldn't it be great if we could, if top 10 worst of lists was actually like the power apparatus of our country, and that, that instead of having the working class and the blue collar types and the indie small businesses and stuff like that pay tithe in the form of some sort of weird bloodletting ritual where all of these masses are forced to, pay massive amounts of debt. And, 30, 40 trillion dollars worth of debt. And what do we have to show for it? What did we get for the $40 trillion in debt to the people that we've been giving all these tax cuts to? We owe them, on top of all the tax cuts that we gave them, we also owe them $40 trillion in debt. $1 trillion a year. $1 trillion a year, okay, would buy enough Twinkies to feed the world 10 times over with Twinkies. Okay? What did we do to, yes, I guess we took about 80 years since World War II to just, sort of sit around and chill and watch March Madness. But is that enough really to deserve being, emotionally tortured to the point of madness and to be on the brink of being completely replaced and rendered superfluous by the ascension of the AI cybernetic robot to the next step in the evolutionary chain of the human race? Is just chillaxing too much and not paying attention to the world around us? It's debatable. But now it's time. It's time for the top number 1 on the list of top 10 worst of tortures for politicians. And this one, I think everybody's probably already guessed it, gotten out in front of it. We spy on them, conduct extrajudicial warrantless searches on their property and activities, and randomly suicide them and make it look like an accident. Yes! Oh yeah! Frickin' bell needs to be brought in for its annual service. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you got it. The top 10 worst of. What an incredible terpsichore adventure through the great unknown that this has been, I think, and, might be getting out in front of me a little bit, but I think has been a rewarding experience for all of us. Now, here as we try to wrap things up, I just wanted to say everything I said here on today's list, it's just an opinion. It's just sort of like fantasy football for the mind, if you will. Just trying to, make the world a little bit more of a dynamic place that isn't just simply designed to crush the spirits of the average schmuck, but actually looking to empower us to embrace our birthrights in this forlorn place and see if we can't rise up above our earthly burdens and liberate ourselves into a world of pure self-actualization. Oh my God! Well, anyway, that'll do it for today. Go ahead and smash the like button. What the hell? Why can't you just smash the freaking like button? Is it that much of an imposition? You posers. Posers in position. Wow! This is pure intellectual gold. How come you can't just smash the freaking like button? Okay. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being you. And let's just try to make the best of it together, shall we? Wait, one more.